began, of course, with last night's Dallas win that keeps the Cowboys' dreams alive over the last couple of weeks of the season. It always was in the days of Tom Landry, they'd come off that Thanksgiving game and they would play lights out the rest of the way. They'll be here on the 10th in a 1 o'clock game against the Giants. They will follow that up with a game on Sunday night in Oakland on the weekend of the 17th. Week 16, they will be home against Seattle, which is obviously another tough game. And then they will finish up the last week of the season at Philly. Now, the question, of course, does Philly need that game? So the Cowboys would need to run the table. The Giants, the Raiders on the road, and then finishing up, as I said, the last 2 weeks where they would, and then finishing up with Seattle, and then the trip in Week 16, they'd be in Philly against the Eagles. Is it a game that Philly needs for anything? Is it a game Philly needs for the 1 seed? Really depends on what Philly does the next 2 weeks when they'll stay out west and play at Seattle Sunday night and then turn around and play the Rams next week. So that's pretty much it. Let me get a couple of calls in, then we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll do some picks here before the top of the hour. Keith in Morristown. What's up, Keith?
Hey, Mike. 2 things. 1 comment, 1 question. Just to add to you about Eli, it's just unfortunate. It's just not right what they did to him, and I'm just so upset about it. And everything you said, I agree with when you were talking about it, a couple of days ago.
Okay.
The question is with Geno Smith. How do you think he's going to perform this Sunday? In Oakland. I don't know if you talked about it yet, but I haven't heard.
Listen, the Raider defense is not very good. They haven't played very well this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're able. And Shepard's going to play, which is at least a positive. He gets one of the receivers back. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a couple okay throws and maybe even throws a couple touchdown passes. He's capable of doing that. He is capable of doing that. So it's not like it would be impossible. Now, he's very prone to the big interception, so we'll see how things work out there. But you got to figure Oakland's going to move the ball well on them, so they're going to have to put up some points. Remember, the points for the Giants seem to always be very limited. It'll be interesting to see how the team reacts to playing without Eli, too. It's been, something they've never done. Ozzie in Hicksville. What's up, Ozzie?
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking the call. Mike, 2 quick things.
Yeah.
I got a question about Eli for you.
Yeah.
But Jerry Reese and the $250 million that he spent on the defense on those 3 players, Mike, and those 3 players are going to end up being cancer. Look at Janoris Jenkins, what he did. He took off, he got suspended.
Yep.
Second one, Olivia Vernon, he's already telling the fans, don't show up.
Right.
And the third one goes on Twitter and takes shots at 2-time Super Bowl champion in Carl Banks. All right?
He did. Yeah, so, after playing great last year, he did play great last year. Snacks Harrison, but you're right. Snacks Harrison's been overly sensitive this year. When anybody's mentioned that anybody quit on his team, he doesn't like to hear that. He doesn't want to hear that. And he said of Banks that Banks should go seek out the guy he said quit and get in his face. Well, that's not his job. He's not. Banks' job is to do the game from the broadcast booth. His job is not to get in players' faces. He's not on the team. When he was playing, then that would be his job. That's not his job now. That's your job, Snacks. If you don't see that, maybe you should be a little more cognizant of what's going on around you. When you see guys not making tackles and guys running with screen passes and tight ends running with the ball down the field for touchdowns. John Bergen, what's up, John?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
What's happening?
This whole thing with Eli, what they did to him, kind of disrespectful. I've seen it earlier with Johnny Unitas in 1972 and Joe Montana, but the thing with Joe Montana, he really wasn't on a decline, and for the life of me...
That was a little different. Bill Walsh had a plan,
right,
and he got into this thing with Montana, and it was kind of who was better, the player or the system, and he really wanted to tweak Montana with Steve Young. So, I mean, that was a little different.
I understand that, Mike, but I never thought I'd ever see the day to see a healthy Joe Montana on the sidelines in an NFC Championship game in a San Francisco 49er uniform. I never thought I'd ever...
like I said, things sometimes turn funny in organizations about who is the guy. And Walsh and Montana played a little bit about that who is the guy thing. Was it the Walsh system and his coaching, or was it the Montana brilliance and his game? And they played a little of that back and forth there. And I think Walsh thinks he won it because of the success he had with Steve. You know, I mean, Young did walk in there and do some really terrific things, including throw 6 touchdown passes in a Super Bowl win. Kenny in Bayonne, what's up, Kenny?
Michael, how are you?
What's up?
You know, with the shows winding down, I just want to say thank you. And I truly mean that. You took me from my 20s to my 50s, and it's been nothing short of special, and I want to say thank you to you.
Great, Kenny, thank you.
In reference to my Vikings...
Yeah, having a great year.
Yeah, well, listen, you know how I feel, how that they're hexed in the whole nine, but I kind of make the analogy, I look at them as the Dilfer Ravens. Real good defense and a game manager. And Keenum is...
You know, he's playing better than that, though. You know, I mean, let's be honest. I understand game manager's fair, backup is fair, but right now, player of the month last week, I mean, and deserving it, and getting the award last week for the month, and the guy's played terrific football. He's put, this is almost like Joe Cap. This is almost like Earl Morrall. This is almost like the guy who steps in and just has the big year. I mean, it's happening there.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the offensive line is doing a great job. They decided to solidify it, unlike on New York.
Yeah, listen, he did a great job. They were the perfect example. Their offensive line last year was a sieve, and they fixed it while the Giants didn't get near fixing it.
Agreed, Mike. And again, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kenny, very much. Good luck with your team. We're going to take a quick break, come back with the picks for Week 13.